Coming to you live in a world where Andy actually mutes his Apple Watch. This is Jailbreak Weekly, episode number 16, and I am your host, Justin Wack. Today, I have my co-hosts, Mr. Andy Hoff.
Yes, I'm here. My Apple Watch is muted. I just happened to ping my iPhone from my Apple Watch. That was making sound. So,
and we
that's
have
the fun story.
Mr. David Burns.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
David Burns. David roasted.
Roasted. Burns roasts everyone.
David Fire.
David Fire Burns, yeah. So, wow. I mean, big week this week in the technology world. Not to mention Halloween and other things. It's been quite the week. As of this recording on Friday, October 30th, iOS 9.0.2 is officially no longer signed, which is very sad.
Sad face emoji.
Yes. In fact, upside down.
Middle finger emoji.
Yes, middle finger emoji.
9.1. Speaking of that, 9.1 is the latest firmware now. So.
Yep. So makes downgrading impossible. So, unfortunately, if you updated, you can't downgrade, or if you get a new device with 9.1, you can't downgrade. So, it was good while it lasted, the downgrade and the jailbreak, but unfortunately, it's come to that time. It always happens, but
yeah.
Oh man,
I was
terrified. My software had like this weird bug, where like it wasn't taking my headphone jack. Like wasn't when I plugged in headphones, it like wasn't recognizing that headphones were plugged in. And I was terrified because I'm like, wait, what if I have to take this to Apple and get it replaced and it's on 9.1? Then I'll lose my jailbreak. And I just spent like 2 hours doing all my activator profiles.
Well, Cydia Impactor has been updated for iOS 9.
No, I know, but if I take it to Apple and have to get it replaced at Apple, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
it's not when I say it's been updated, it's not official. Like it's official, but it's in beta. So
yeah.
But
so I freaked out, and then I just rebooted my phone, and it was better. And I'm like, okay, never mind, we're good.
Yeah. Like a lot of people call this survival mode. Like when you're trying to preserve your device's current software and everything, so you don't want to drop it and break it. So if you have a new one, you don't want to install some crazy thing that's gonna set your phone.
Yeah, and if you don't I mean, I can't stress this enough. Don't install things from shady repos. Like, don't go pirating things. Don't go installing things because you never know what kind of viruses can get on your phone, what kind of malware can get on your phone. And let's say some big new groundbreaking security discovery is, made and you have to get this stuff off your phone. The only way to do that is probably going to be to update or do a fresh restore. Like, just things like that where, be really careful what you put on your device. Be really careful, especially if you modify file systems yourself. Be really, really careful what you delete.
Right. And going off of that as well, if you have a tweak like iFile installed, you really need to be careful there because
that's what I'm referencing. Yeah.
There are things like equivalents to System32 on Windows where if you go in and delete, a certain file in iOS, it's done completely. Like you won't be able to use it. So just unless you are an experienced person that knows his way around the file system and knows what you're doing and all that kind of stuff, and you're not going to risk, basically having to, the only way to fix it is to have to restore at this point, then you can, by all means you can play around with it. But unless you're, super advanced, I would say definitely to stay away from that.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say we're not like telling you what to do or what not to do. I view this as an advisory, but just and I mean, look, all this stuff is fairly cliche. Like it gets said after every signing window is closed, but at the end of the day, it's all you can say, right? Like there's not. I mean, look, downgrades you can't do it anymore. If you're on iOS 9.1, I'm sad to say that you're stuck. Middle finger emoji to Apple for closing the downgrade. No, I'm just kidding. But that middle finger emoji, like that's the only reason that made me remotely stop and consider upgrading to iOS 9.1.
Sponsor break. So, Ultimate iDevice Vids, the YouTube channel, does have a video that shows you how to get the new emojis from iOS 9.1 back on 9.0.2. That just happens to be the YouTube channel that I run. So
we'll
drop that down below in the description.
To be okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I
need to watch
promotion.
that. I need to watch that because
Definitely.
I've been catching up on all my Ultimate iDevice videos there.
Nice. Thank you, David. And same thing with me. I'm gonna catch up on my Apple Attack video. So.
Hey, there you go.
I've been catching up on my own videos because I have a really successful YouTube channel. I've got 70,000 subs. I'm the best video editor on the planet with my extreme talent for visual design and all that. So. For those who don't know, I'm actually blind. That was sarcasm. Anyway, so yeah, like we said, iOS 9.0.2 is no longer signed. Therefore, if you're on iOS 9.0.2 and you have any interest in jailbreaking, stay where you are. If you're on iOS 9.1, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to have to wait for the next jailbreak to come out. And, going off that, when do you guys think the jailbreak for iOS 9.1 is going to come out? If you guys had to guess, do you guys think, let's put it down to a basic timeline. Do you think it's going to be before Christmas, or do you think it's going to be after Christmas or during Christmas?
Yeah. See, that's a very interesting question because, so 9.2 is currently in beta. Just a few days ago, the first beta dropped. So there's also the question of if this jailbreak will be released for 9.1, 9.2, maybe 9.3, or even iOS 10 for all we know. So I personally do think that there will be a 9.1 or 9.2 jailbreak. I think it's going to be one of those two. And I would probably say it's going to be arriving sooner rather than later, just based on what we've seen in the past with iOS 8. For example, taking a trip back to iOS 8. The first iOS 8 jailbreak, released by Pengu as well, was released for 8.1, and then just for the next update after that, which was 8.1.1, Taiji released the jailbreak for that. So I don't know. I know it's completely different. They're two completely different systems, completely different exploits, etc. But just based on the speed we've seen these teams release jailbreaks and the huge effort and push that they have, and desire that they have to release jailbreaks, I would probably say sooner. So maybe I would bet to say that wasn't breaking English, but I think it's gonna come before Christmas. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know what you think, David, but I know for me, I think it's going to be before Christmas, but I think it is going to be in early December-ish, maybe late November, early December, that kind of timeline, just
I could see
based off of the patterns of previous cycles, because I think they may want to wait for 9.2 to come out before they release anything. But again, these guys have never been afraid to push out a jailbreak. So it's a really – the thing about these teams now is they are so unpredictable. I don't think any of us expected an iOS 9.0 2 jailbreak in 28 days, for example. I just – things like that. The cycles are just so unpredictable now. But yeah, David, what do you think?
So it all comes down to, me personally, what I think is it all comes down to who is it that's releasing it is what we have to look at. If it's, these guys who generally just don't really care at all about any, pattern and release, and they will pick any random date possible, they'll do it at the earliest, possible time. If it's these guys, again, I would definitely say that, even if it's Taiji this time around and it's not Pengu that comes up with the next jailbreak, whether it's 9.1 or 9.2, whatever the case may be, whether it's Taiji or Pengu, I think it's probably going to. We have a good. I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be before Christmas, because that's how these guys work. These guys aren't. They're not really PR people. They're not really marketing people.
No, that's very true.
Yeah, so especially with the initial jailbreak, for a big version of iOS. For example, Pengu with the first 8 jailbreak, and now with the first 9, I think they're trying to rush it out the door to get it out as soon as possible.
Well, see, and that's where the whole changing of the community really comes into play, where it's a lot of financial gains that these guys are getting, and the faster they get these jailbreaks out, the gains are going to be more present, obviously, with their financial stabilities and stuff. But speaking of the iOS 0.2 jailbreak, did Pengu, correct me if I'm wrong, they released a updated tool, correct?
Yeah, it's Pengu. I believe it's 1.2. They released a new tool, and oh yeah, of course. How could we forget about this? They also released the Mac version for Mac computers.
It only took them like a month.
And then a day after that, 9.0.2 stopped.
Oh, blatant sponsorship. We both have Mac tutorials to show you how to jailbreak iOS 9 on your Mac. We'll throw them in the description as well, so you guys can jailbreak on your Mac if you don't. Guys, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Throw that out there.
Happy Halloween.
For us, it is.
Yeah. Well.
We're so excited right now. You can sense
I'm pretty excited.
I'm so screwed up in the mind that it's Halloween for me every day. Yeah, I mean it's interesting that you said about this this Mac jailbreak because and this comes back to I'm really shocked at how low the cover. Obviously, we're here to cover this for you guys, but I'm really shocked at how low jailbreaking coverage has become. I had no idea. All I heard about was that they'd released an updated tool. I did not hear about this Mac tool anywhere. And I follow, all these big, and I mean, I could have missed it, granted, but you'd think if there was a Mac tool, it used to be when there was a Mac tool being released, or an update, people were making an uproar on Twitter. I saw maybe like 3 or 4 tweets, from different news agencies saying, oh, Pengu updated this, like Mon My Eye, iPhone Hacks, IDB, and maybe Redmond Pi. That's like it. That's all I will see now. And I don't see, people talking. I don't see very much going on. And it's like, this is crazy. Like this coverage is really low.
Yeah. The interesting thing now, in particular with this, whole Mac tool, is the fact that there really was not many people that were covering this when it was released. Like,
I know.
It was, I was just sitting in class and I happened to be doing something and I pulled out my phone and it said, tweet from 5 minutes ago from Pengu, and it said, Mac jailbreak now available. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. So, I knew from that, but I probably wouldn't have known if I hadn't seen Pengu's tweet. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. I was at school, so I had this large free period in the middle of the day. So I went home and I filmed the tutorial. I was actually the first one to get it out, or at least the people that I know. So I was very proud of that. Just pure luck that I had a free period. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I was actually the first one, Andy, because I have a wildly successful YouTube channel.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. The coverage has been very scant. With this kind of stuff. But then again, it is there. I'm trying to make at least one Cydia tweak video a day. That's my aim.
I wish I could sit here and pledge that that's going to happen for me as well, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. It's really not. I have so much going on in my life other than making YouTube videos, and I know I love making YouTube videos, and I know you guys love seeing them, but it just can't happen all the time. It really stinks, but...
Well, see, we have these things. They're called schools, and it's
awful things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, the jailbreak was updated, and another thing that was updated and finally released to the public is the brand new Apple TV. That was the greatest segue of all time, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
The Apple TV is, very, very, very innovative. They've, included a lot of incredible features. So what do you guys think of this whole thing? Maybe just kind of give a summary of what it is, because, I mean, obviously I haven't really paid too close attention to it, but...
So as far as I know, it's just like a complete overhaul from the older generations. I don't follow this too closely, to be honest, but I believe that there's many new gaming capabilities. I think that's a big aspect of it. Brand new UI, brand new looks of the entire system. Brand new remote, brand new controller, all that kind of thing. It's just completely modernized, and it hadn't been updated for years, and I think it brought itself up. It's been brought up to speed with 2015.
Yeah.
Again, I probably sound like somewhat of, not someone who's experienced, and that's because it's true. I'm kind of really focused on iDevices and iOS, so I don't really know that much about this, but
they modernized the user interface of it. I think it was about time that they did that, because it was time that they needed to give it like a 2015 style look.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the Apple TV 3 was like, what, 2012 released?
Yeah.
2011? Like, it's been a long time coming, this update, and in fairness, I think it will prove to be pretty popular. I really do, especially with the Siri capabilities. But what I'm interested to know is if a jailbreak is ever released. Do you guys see the potential for a jailbreak? And if a jailbreak was released for this, would that sway your decision on, whether you're going to buy it or not? Because I know none of us have it right now, correct?
Right. I don't have it, but I am thinking about getting it. It depending on what the jailbreak could do for it, it could sway my my opinion. Right now I do have an Xbox One, but and this is I feel like ultimately it's gonna come to this point eventually where everything's just gonna be on one device, and I feel like Apple's probably going to be the center stage of that, eventually. Or maybe it won't be Apple, maybe it'll be a different company, but I feel like eventually this is going to happen where you'll have your music, your TV, you'll have video games, everything. If I said movies already, if I didn't, that.
I don't know if it will ever get to that, but that's a whole nother debate. And the reason I say I don't know if it will ever get to that is because the things you would need to do to that device, and like the amount of stuff you need to be able to connect to it and stuff like that is just mind-boggling. Like,
well, also too, I'm 100% sure people, if you go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, no one would have thought any of the technology we're talking about right now is possible. So
I don't know. I think for casual, sorry to interrupt. I just think for casual gamers in particular, who are just playing occasionally just for fun. Well, obviously all gaming's just for fun, but again, just casual.
Well, I wouldn't say it's all just for fun. I mean, there's professional gamers and stuff now.
I suppose, but again, I think that the Apple TV could definitely serve as that. But in terms of like hardcore, like I don't know, whatever they call themselves, hardcore gamers, they might need an Xbox.
Now, you got to think right now is the fact that it only comes in 2 GB configurations, right? You got the 34 and...
No, 32 and 64.
64, okay, I reversed things. So you got the 32 and the 64. So, 32 obviously is not that huge, and 64 is not that big either. Like, for example, I know this is going to sound completely crazy, but Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, for right now, the latest Call of Duty game that's out, takes up on the Xbox One, I think, roughly about like 50 to 60 gigs of memory.
I think it was 60 gigs, yeah.
Damn.
So it's a lot.
That's the thing. The Apple TV is not going to be a very hardcore gaming console.
Right.
But that's not what is expected of it. It's not meant for gamers. You know what I mean? Like if they built something meant for gamers, it would be like.
Yeah. They probably would have highlighted, like it's beautiful 60 frames per second and
yeah. Well, and
4K.
That's
another thing is they probably would have added 4K to it too.
Yes.
I'm really wondering why they really didn't try to add 4K, because it's weird too. Like you almost would think, because you probably would be able to AirPlay your iPhone 6s and 6s Plus over to the new Apple TV. So what would make sense is the recordings that you put in 4K, on your iPhone 6s and iPhone 6s Plus, you can AirPlay it over to your Apple TV, and you could see it on an actual 4K.
Yeah, keep in mind though that some TV displays can't handle 4K.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the thing I will say about the Apple TV, and Apple in general. Going back to the gaming thing for a second, Apple has never really targeted the gamer demographic with their products,
or at least the hardcore
gamers. Like the hardcore. Like the Mac is not. I will say this with a completely straight head, or completely straight face, and the Mac is not a computer that is meant for your hardcore gamer, especially the laptops now when they have SSDs with 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. Like one game takes up a quarter of that SSD if you have 256. Like But what I will say is for casual gamers, Apple definitely, I think, with this Apple TV, has a great chance to win the market. What I will also say is the Apple TV, again, this thing is such a multifaceted device. I mean, it's not meant for gaming. It's not meant for, watching things and using Siri. It's meant for all of those things.
Here's what I wonder. I wonder if we're gonna get like the Flappy Bird or Wii Sports equivalent for the Apple TV, like something insanely successful that you have everyone and their mom picking up an Apple TV.
Oh, I would not be surprised, and Apple is probably hoping that this happens because, look, at the end of the day, like, Apple's the one making the money off that.
Right.
But I mean, so going back to, and that's another thing that could really make video games interesting with the Apple TV is a jailbreak scenario. So, obviously a jailbreak is in the potential of this Apple TV. Like, there's definitely a possibility that it could happen. Has there been any rumors about this? Have you guys heard any rumors?
Not really. So from what I heard so far is that tvOS is actually similar to iOS. So if that's any, indication at all that a jailbreak's going to be released, I definitely will say this, that it definitely will be possible to jailbreak the Apple TV 4th generation without a doubt. It sounds like because it's similar to, the operating system of iOS, and there's, a potential there of things you could do with the Apple TV with a jailbreak, I definitely think that it is not out of the question to have a jailbreak for the Apple TV 4.
Wow, right. I can just imagine the Apple TV. See, the Apple TV with the jailbreak would be like living room on steroids.
Yeah.
Like I can just picture the things that they could do with an Apple TV 4 and a jailbreak. Like, that would be a really interesting combination of things that I would love to see in my bedroom here, in my TV in my bedroom. But Andy, what do you think about this whole thing?
I don't know. I mean, I've never really been an Apple TV user. To be honest, I've told you about this. I have this phone. I just plug in with an AV cable to my TV and stream Netflix. So that's really, in terms of TV, that's what I need. And again, in terms of gaming, I'm not really a gamer. I don't really, do any of that. So I don't know. I don't really see, just for me personally, I don't see any myself using it, but I definitely see huge potential. Just with all the different features, the sensors, all the upgraded specs. It's just, again, when you have a jailbreak, just like when you're able to jailbreak the latest iPhone, there's literally no limit. Like, anyone could come up with something and make it happen. So I think it's going to be fantastic if it's done. But again, just for me personally, I don't think that there's going to be a use for it. Again, but the sky's the limit. I think that if it happens, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff made about it.
But I mean, like, just things like, what about like an activator with your Apple TV, or what about?
Wait, are there like sensors that like sense your movement or something? Or is that like
so.
the Wii U?
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like the Apple TV has such potential with the jailbreak, and I think we just need someone to do this, and I think it will hopefully happen. I really do. That being said, I've noticed on Twitter that Naito TV, who is a very prominent guy of jailbreaking Apple TVs, has lost interest in that. So the torch may have to be passed on, but you never know. He still could come up with something. If not, I'm sure someone else would come up with something. The point is that I think a jailbreak with this device will come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't think it's gonna be like with the Apple Watch, where we tell you guys it's coming. It's it's definitely gonna happen. Then it won't. I feel like personally, if I take a step back and look at this myself, it makes more sense to me at this point to jailbreak the Apple TV than it does to jailbreak the Apple Watch.
I'm still mad that the Apple Watch doesn't have a jailbreak. I'm still mad about that. But that's a whole nother.
I am, but I don't know. I feel like maybe we might see something soon. Maybe not. I don't know.
I still want activator for the watch.
Yeah. That'd be.
I don't know. I just there's things that I like to change about my watch, but I'm just at this point when I just don't think it's gonna happen. But because
Andy, you barely wear your watch, though, correct? I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way.
I went through this phase during the summer when I didn't wear it, but I wear it every day now. And there's things like, for example, like when I get multiple messages on the watch face, how it as opposed to listing them like latest to oldest, it shows the oldest one first.
Oh
like,
yeah, that one's annoying.
What? Like why? Like why would Apple?
That is annoying. I know.
Yeah.
I get annoyed by that. See, for me, it's just I would love to be able to have activator for the watch, and I would also love to be able to like just be like, oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna, use my watch for a lot more things. Like I don't know, like just customizing the watch I think would be very fun. Like like just everything that you can do with it with the jailbreak on the watch would be nice, I think. And that's the thing. I mean, look, hopefully it will come, but again, that's a whole nother discussion.
So I'm just wondering what happened with the whole Soric DMCA exemption.
Oh yeah, that's very big news.
Yeah.
So basically each year, the DMCA Act, so the DMCA needs to renew the legality of jailbreaking.
3 years. Yeah, every 3 years. Yeah.
Oh, did I say okay?
You said each year.
Okay. So basically, again, every 3 years, the legality of jailbreaking smartphones, tablets, and smart TVs, I believe, are all considered individually. And for the past 3 years, believe it or not, tablets hasn't been declared legal. So I believe it's technically been illegal, but
it's a bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
Gray area. Okay. All right.
Because it hasn't been declared illegal, but it also hasn't been declared legal. So
Right.
they it's a slight gray area.
Yeah.
But again, this year, luckily, both all three smartphones, tablets, smart TVs, all declared legal for the next 3 years, which is awesome. Sorry to interrupt you.
I want to give props to Soric IT and everyone else who helped make this happen.
Definitely.
Because
hats off to them. Great job.
Yeah, because these guys had to work hard to make this happen. Like they had to lobby. So I just want to take a moment to give them huge props because that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, it's just it's what I do on my channel. It's what we do here on the podcast. It's just it's what David does. It's just we really appreciate having that legitimacy, which is it means a lot. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So with that, in that light, we have, of course, because the iOS 9 jailbreak was still released, fairly recent, we have a bunch of tweak releases to talk about. There's been a lot of new tweaks. Again, we said earlier that there hasn't been very much coverage, but I've been covering them all. So I've actually covered. David's covered some. Yes. David's covered some as well. I guess we'll just jump straight in. So, I guess the first one we'll talk about is Tether.
For some reason, I just completely thought you were going to say that. I don't know how.
Oh, really?
I don't know how it happened. I was like, he's going to talk about Tether first. I know he is. And it was like, first up is Tether. I was
okay, well, wait. What is Tether?
Yeah, so Tether is a city tweak. It's available for 99 cents. Basically, it allows you to set a timer, a calendar event, or an alarm from your home screen. So basically how this works is after you install the tweak, there's no settings to configure. You either 3D touch on your home screen or you triple tap and then swipe. And basically you're going to be getting this interface that takes over your whole screen, and it's really hard to explain. But basically the further you extend your finger from the point that you initially invoked the menu, it's gonna give you a little menu that says basically the time is gonna increase. So the further I extend my finger, it's gonna say 3 hours, 4 hours, and then X amount of minutes, and it's also gonna show you a time. So if I release my finger on that particular time or amount of time forward, if that makes any sense, it'll give me the option to either create an alarm, a reminder, or a calendar event at that specific time. Completely hard to understand. I have a visual representation in the description. I made a video, but so if you don't understand it, you can check that out. But basically, it's just a cool way to quickly set alarms on your device, and it's designed so well. Again, you kind of have to see this to understand what's what's to be appreciated. It's very unique. It's a unique concept, and I just appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, props to the developer, but I don't know if I'd ever use this, but I mean, this kind of thing, that's quite a visual tweak, and You know, as a blind person, I just don't know if I could see myself using this. But David, what about you? Would you ever use this?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, if I set a lot of alarms and reminders and events and all that kind of stuff, I definitely could see myself using this if all the bugs were ironed out. Because there are a few bugs with this, right, Andy? Because I did see your video and you were talking about how it's not 100% precise all the time.
Sometimes I'll try to release my finger on like 5:30, and then when I release my finger, my finger slips a little bit forward or backward because it's very nimble controls, and then it sets it for like 5:40. Like 7, which is, sometimes it's off by like an hour, which is, I don't know, that's
fairly significant, yeah.
Yeah, so, but again, it's a beautiful concept, and I really think it can be improved upon. It just needs a couple, maybe a couple more updates, but,
yeah. Well, there's 2 points I wanted to touch on. One is, I do like as well, because I did test this out for a little while, I do like as well how you can 3D touch on it. And it'll kind of, as you're moving your finger across the screen, it'll kind of, give that haptic feedback every time you move your finger up and down across the screen. So I think that's a kind of, I think that's kind of a cool, feature for the tweak. And also, this is like the second tweak that has utilized 3D touch. So this is pretty new in terms of, 3D touch. Like we've only had 2 tweaks that add functions to 3D touch.
Yeah, like brand new. There's the 3D touch to clear notifications,
and then there's
which I still am using, by the way.
Oh, nice. Are you liking that, Justin?
Yeah. That's honestly because I am in so many different group chats. I'm in like multiple Skype group chats. I'm in multiple iMessage group chats. My notifications get extremely cluttered, and I don't really feel like having to go and like clear them all manually and do all that. No, this 3D touch thing is beautiful. Like I actually use this. I can't believe Apple didn't put that in the operating system itself, to tell you the truth. But I mean, yeah, that's something that has surprised me, is there is a very inherent lack of 3D touch tweaks. Like they just haven't been present.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the jailbreak was recently released, and I'm just so glad to see that there's innovation sparking.
Yeah, I mean, but like even with Touch ID a couple years ago, like you were seeing Touch ID tweaks on like the second or third day the jailbreak was released. Like,
well, and you have to be fair with Touch ID because Touch ID is, I mean, there's a little bit more to build upon. I guess I should be saying there's a little bit more to build upon with 3D Touch because it's like Apple specifically with Touch ID basically said, here's what you can do. The only thing you can do right now is you can unlock the phone using this and authenticate purchases. Those are the only 2 things you could be doing with this so far.
I mean, with 3D Touch, there's also a lot to build on. But again, I think that in the coming, weeks, months, years, decades, we will be seeing many tweaks. I mean, seriously, like in the next few months, I think we'll be seeing lots of tweaks with 3D Touch. I mean, who knows? Sometimes these things are a little bit of a slower build.
Yeah. You really think decades, Andy?
Yeah, well, we'll totally be running 9.0.2 in decades. So. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, okay.
Anyways, yeah, so that is Tether. So we have a couple of more major releases this week. This one's called Pegasus. It's available for $2.99. I also made a video on this. But basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to detach your so basically the new feature in iOS 9 for the iPads, it allows you to detach videos from their original origin and basically multitask while that video is up on your screen. That's only available for iPads, but this ports it to every other device. So you can install this, and again, it's the direct implementation, I believe, your direct code in iOS 9 just unlocked for all the older devices.
Oh, this is actually a thing now? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I haven't been able to check my CD all week. I've been so busy with school. So does it play? It still plays the audio too and everything. Like
it's just full-on iPad.
So how do you do the multitasking? Can you just like press the home button and will it still do it or what?
There's a little button. So basically, it has to be the standard Apple like video player because some apps like Netflix, YouTube don't use that.
So if it's the regular YouTube app or like Netflix or any of those, it just straight up won't work, right?
Yes, certain apps basically use Apple's standard media player. Safari usually uses it. But again, as long as it's that standard meter play, there'll be a little button at the bottom. It'll detach. You can do whatever you want, and it's good to go. And of course, you could, close it, pause it, pinch to zoom, pinch, the other way to minimize it. It's just again, it's the exact feature, which is.
I could see this being huge for you on your 6 Plus. Pardon my pun, Andy, because
with
that multitasking. I mean, look, I was surprised they didn't include that on the 6 Plus, but that's a very I might take a look at that. I'm very strongly considering taking a look at that.
So basically, I'm just gonna break it down for those people who don't know. Basically, what happened was, for, I want to say, a good few iOS releases, a guy by the name who's, legendary activator, all this stuff, Ryan Petrich, released a jailbreak tweak named Video Pane, which has been extremely popular. And basically, in iOS 9, Apple decided to completely steal his idea, Sherlock it, and put it in iOS 9. For the iPads, though, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they decided not to put it in any of the pluses, which didn't really make any sense to me, considering you have all that screen real estate.
Well, I mean, it's a little cramped, but it's certainly useful.
Yeah.
It's a marketing thing at the end of the day, I think. Sure. It all comes down to marketing. But, I mean, I think it's amazing that even today, Apple is still getting ideas from the jailbreak community.
Yeah.
Of course. To be honest, that's like half of what they do. They just take stuff from jailbreakers.
Like, really, we're the ones who run Apple's innovation.
Yeah.
When you think about
I own 50% of Apple.
Yep, I own the other 50%, and I own 33.3% of the air horn. So we're good.
So together we own 133.
Oh man,
little profits. There you go.
There we go.
That little air horn joke, that was completely.
We own 133% of Apple profits. That's going to be our episode title, I think. 133% of Apple profits. What do you guys think?
Just because we're jailbreakers.
I guess that's cool.
We come up with jailbreak stuff. But anyways, that is Pegasus, $299.
For me personally, this is a great idea, and I'm glad that people are thinking about. Oh well, this is another common theme with, like, for Medusa, for example, that brings slide over and split view to iPads and other devices. Oh, well, since we have a jailbreak now, we can access this code that was closed off before, and we can enable this feature that Apple closed off on certain devices, on iPads, whatever. We can enable this feature universally across the board for any iOS 9 device. So I think that's definitely cool that they're able to do that. But for me personally, I'm waiting on Ryan Petrich to update Video Pane so I can, Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Oh my God.
As Justin would say. Netflix and detach.
You guys do know what that means, right?
Oh yes, I
do. I just wanted to clarify. Okay. All right.
No, Andy. Do you want to clarify to the live streamers what it means, Andy?
You know what I'll do?
Clarify what Bay means.
I'm gonna tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'm gonna make a video on it. Okay, I'm gonna go into detail. I'm gonna publish it. Okay. So
what Netflix and chill is? Netflix and chill is.
Yeah. What is Netflix and chill featuring Ultimate iDevice Vids? All right.
So the first thing you have to do is you have to go on to Netflix and sign up, and then after you go on to Netflix and sign up, you have to do this, and then, okay.
All right, so next up we have Switchy. This is from our good friend William Vabrinskis. Basically, this tweak, it's still in beta, so it's still in his beta repo. We'll drop his beta repo in the description. But basically what this tweak allows you to do is it allows you to quickly switch between apps with this like quick switcher-like little interface. You drag it from the left side of your screen, and you get this nice pop-up of the last 5 apps that you opened. Basically, you just slide your finger across them. There's a nice little pop-up animation when you're sliding your finger on them. You release on the app you want to launch, and it switches to that app.
Ooh, that is nice.
It is very nice. It's just it's very graphically appealing. It's very smooth and just very Apple-like. And if you swipe from the from the right side, the other side, it's just going to lock your device. So it's 2 very convenient gestures, 2 things I'm doing all the time. I'm always switching apps. I'm always locking my device. So, it's one of my favorite tweaks. It's just shout out to William for making this available.
Well, and I mean, it's not a surprise that this tweak is so good. I mean, William does have a track record for making.
Oh, absolutely.
William Fabrinskas has a track record for making good tweaks.
Good tweak, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, how much? Oh, so is Switchy free on his beta repo then?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Do you still have to sign up for the beta or no?
No, you just add the repo.
Okay.
Yeah, you just add the repo,
that's a throwback there. That's way back before it got popular. There you go. That was way before it got mainstream.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So, is this something you guys would consider using?
I think so. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know I am for sure. After I got this, I'm just, I'm already hooked on it. It's just so smooth.
Yeah. So back in iOS, what was it? iOS 8.4 when the jailbreak came out for this. I think this he released this tweak on his beta repo, and I was a little hesitant at first when I tried this. I liked the idea of it, but I wasn't sure when I actually personally got to use it if it was something I would keep on my device. But for the entire time that I had, from that time on, when I had my device jailbroken on 8.4, I used this tweak. I know it did just recently get updated for iOS 9 compatibility. I just unfortunately have not had the time to install it. Probably after this podcast, after we're done recording, I'll probably get it. Definitely. But so I definitely love this tweak. This is a great tweak. William, nice job. But yeah, I can't wait until it releases publicly on whether it's Big Boss or whatever it is, because it's a really good tweak. So I'm excited for this, definitely.
Glad to hear.
Yeah.
I would use it to answer the question. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
What is Andy's next tweak in his bag of tweaks?
My big bag of tweaks. Here we go. All right. So next up, we got a Auris. This is available for $1.99. And basically what this tweak does is actually really cool. Basically, as soon as you plug in your headphones to your device, basically this is going to prompt you immediately with this little pop-up from the bottom. It's got a nice little animation. And it's going to prompt you with applications that relate to music. And basically you could go into the settings after you install this tweak and configure what applications you want to show up there. So I have it set, for example, for Spotify and the stock music app. But you could configure literally any app on your device. And as soon as you tap on one of these applications, it's automatically going to open up that app and begin playing.
So does this have to just to clarify here? Does this have to be an app that plays media? So does it have to be like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, but just the Apple Music app?
No.
Or can it be like any app on your device?
Yeah, any app. I mean, you're. I guess it's intended for you to set it for a media app, but yeah, I mean you can do it.
I mean, yeah. See, I would use this tweak, but I have headphones in so often that I think that pop-up would become a nuisance. Because I have headphones in a lot of the time, even though I don't want to listen to music, because I have to listen to my voiceover talking. So in my situation, I don't know how useful this tweak would actually be. But I do recognize that it is a very creative job done by the developer, and I think that it's definitely a tweak that I could see a lot of people using. Just for myself, again, with VoiceOver as a blind user, I'm plugging in headphones all the time, and I don't want a prompt for music apps every time I plug in headphones.
Yeah. So Justin, I definitely understand what you're saying about that. And it's true because this is at least when I've been using this tweak for the past few hours. When I plug my headphones in, the pop-up doesn't seem to go away until I either select an app or unplug the headphones. Yeah, it's not like I can't dismiss it. Like I try to push the home button, try to tap on the X's area of the screen, it just doesn't go away. I'm not really sure why that is.
Probably a bug, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little bit difficult to use if you're constantly using headphones. I am too. I'm always listening to music, but again, the tweak is great for what it is. I think it's a great concept, and maybe it just needs it's just a few little tweaks, and it's really nice, and it's again beautiful design. It's got these nice little plus buttons. Of course, you could configure which applications get into settings, and you could configure color and stuff like that. It's very beautiful. Just needs a few little improvements.
Yeah, I mean, because for example, even something like reading my textbooks, I use my phone and I have to plug in headphones to read my textbook, and that's slightly difficult to do with prompts coming up with apps that I might not even want to use at the time anyway. But again, I recognize, my circumstances are unique compared to other people's. So,
Right.
but David, would you see yourself using this, David?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so right now where I'm at, probably not. Just because for the most part, I listen to my music in a central place. I listen to it on the Apple Music app with just the music playlist that I have downloaded. But I definitely could see, like, I'm trying to get into Spotify, so I definitely could see this being a thing because I do know, I think this is only for the 6S and the 6S Plus, though. Or maybe it's just an iOS 9 thing in general. I'm not 100% sure, but where you plug in your headphones and it will automatically, like, it won't play the music, but it'll, like, continue, like...
Yeah, it puts it in your handoff, bar.
Yeah, it's in the multitasking in iOS 9.
Yeah.
I believe that's the case. It's similar to this. Like, it did come up, but this is nice because it actually prompts applications that you can select.
It's almost like a beefed up version of Apple's stock.
Right. So that's not 6S and 6S Plus. That's universal to iOS 9.
I believe it's most devices. It's I don't think it works on my iPod 5 for some reason, but I think pretty much probably 5S and above. I'm sure it would work.
Your iPod. So the fact that your iPod 5 still runs iOS.
Any modern.
I know it's crazy.
Any modern device, basically, any modern device that will actually run iOS good and fast will be able to handle that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that tweak is called Auris, again available for $199. Definitely good tweak for music people.
It really sounds like you're saying the name wrong. I don't want to pick on you, but it definitely sounds.
I know. It's spelled Auris.
I don't know.
Auris. Wouldn't that just be Auris?
Oh my God! See, I mispronounced it in my video too.
See, there you go. See, what did I tell you? I told you were saying it wrong.
See, well, at first, Andy, I'm gonna be straight up. At first, when you were saying I'm like, is he gonna say a urinal? Because if he is, we have a problem.
Oh God, here we go. Well, that just happened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we gotta put some bloopers in to make it interesting, right?
That's true. Gotta keep it going. So again, that's however you pronounce it, that tweak. Auris? What was it? Auris?
Auris.
Auris.
Auris, dude.
Okay, all right.
Wait, or is it AU or AEU?
It's AURIS.
Yeah, it's probably Auris, but And
there you go.
That's what, $199 on Big Boss?
Yeah, $199 on Big Boss. Definitely worth it again. But again, a few bugs, but it's all to be fixed. So. We got one final tweak to talk about, and this is Label Notify. This is available for just 99 cents. This tweak basically completely changes up the badge, basically the way the app badges work. So normally it's the little circle at the top of your application. It's red. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. This tweak basically allows you to completely change that. So it's not. So basically, the fundamental function of this is it moves the badge from the top of the icon to replacing the label of the icon. So, for example, for my App Store app, which I have 4 updates, as opposed to saying App Store, just at the bottom there it says 4 updates. So it's just to make a cleaner look, as opposed to having like dots everywhere and whatnot. It's just gonna overlay right where the label would be. It's just gonna say 4 updates because most people know that the App Store icon means App Store. And it's has some customization options. You could create different labels on a per application basis. So for example, I know that for my App Store app, the only reason I would ever have a badge there would be for an update. So I went into the settings, went under per app settings, clicked App Store, and I typed in update. So it'll say 4 updates, 5 updates, etc. For my Messages app, I set it to say new message. So, whenever I get one new message, it'll say 1 new message, 2 new messages, etc. There's also color configuration. You can customize the color of the little label and the text color as well. So it just allows you to kind of change the way your badges work.
So this is very different than the stock regular badge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I really like it. It's much more minimal and just kind of it's cleaner.
For 99 cents, Andy, would you say that this is a bargain?
Oh my God, yes. This is like when I first saw this tweak in Cydia, I was a little skeptical, but like once I started using this, it just cleans up your home screen so much. And yeah, like if it works perfectly too. It's flawless. So
Well, see, that's the main thing. As long as it works, right?
yeah,
Like,
this is totally worth it. This is one of the best tweaks, definitely, that I've seen in a while. So
See, I don't know if it's this tweak in particular, and it might just be the fact that my Wi-Fi in school is so messed up. That could be what it is too. It might have like half installed the update, but when I was in school, I refreshed Cydia, and because I had a free period, and I refreshed and I saw that there was an update available for this tweak, and I installed it, and then as soon as I installed it, for whatever reason, as soon as I locked my phone, I couldn't get back into it without having to hard reset every time I locked it. So it was like a really weird bug, and I'm not sure if it had anything to do with that, but it was like as soon as I uninstalled the tweak, it completely went away. So it was like really weird because before I updated it, when I just had like the version before that update, it wasn't doing that. So I don't know what was going on with that. Maybe it was conflicting with a separate tweak I had installed already.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't had anything like that, and yeah, I mean, I doubt it was, to be honest with you, because again, I haven't had any issues. But there's always conflicts and weird stuff going on. So yeah, again, like with tweaks, this happens frequently. There's just conflicts. Sometimes you gotta go around, uninstall stuff, and then you'll eventually find your problem. But yeah, definitely
When all else fails, safe mode is there to help.
When all else fails, throw your iPhone against a wall.
That works too.
It's a little bit more expensive, but it works.
Well, yes,
more expensive and the aggressive way to make it work, but it works.
Yeah, it works. Fixes the problem. So, Jess, would you ever consider using this?
Probably not. Well, I shouldn't say probably not, but I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, yeah, I don't know. On one hand, I could see myself using this because it's like, oh, this is a really deep tweak. There's a lot of options, but on the other, it's like it just modifies the user interface so much that I don't know how much I actually want to modify the user interface.
I mean, it's not that much. It's just again, it's not like your home screen looks different. It just kind of moves things around to make it a little slimmer.
Yeah, and see, I don't know how that would work with VoiceOver too. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't know how big of a difference that would make with VoiceOver. So, but I think it'd be interesting to experiment and try it and see how it works.
For sure. And what about you, David? Would you consider keeping this on your device?
So basically, I actually have talked. I talked to the developer, and he seems like a great guy. But yeah, so before I had that problem, I was using it. It looked like the tweak definitely had a potential, but in the first update, and I think he did fix this because after, initially the update was working fine before, I decided to lock my device and, go about the rest of my day, like going to actual classes and learning. And then when I pulled out my phone again, it just refused to open, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Because I need my phone to be able to check the time and see what else, even though I have my Apple Watch, but that's redundant. That's not my point. My point is that I needed to check Twitter, do a bunch of other things on my phone while I had that time to, because in between classes there's 2 to 3 minutes, there's not much time. So I was frantically trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with my phone, and I realized that it happened. I guess it had to have been that was causing an issue, but beforehand, in the initial version, I guess it was 1.0, in the initial version of the tweak, there was a little bit of a bug where it would say, like, for whatever reason, if there wasn't a notification there, it would still tell you that there was a notification for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I haven't had any of that, but yeah, I mean, bugs. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
That's true. What you gonna do? Hey, it's the life of a jailbreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Hashtag jailbreak life.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our episode hashtag. But yeah, like now that all the bugs are kind of ironed out, David, would you consider keeping this on your phone?
Yeah, I definitely would. I think this tweak has a lot of potential. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like I'm a big minimalist in terms of like home screen stuff, so I'll definitely be keeping this for sure.
You know what? Also, too, it's just it's refreshing to see something new like this come too. Like, it's not something initially I would have thought of, but when I read the concept idea for it on Cydia, like when I read it, I was like, okay, like this seems like something good that I actually would consider keeping. So, it's one of those things that I didn't make the connection that I didn't realize I needed until it was there. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of times that's what jailbreaking is discovering, hey, I didn't need to do this, and then you install the tweak, and you're like, okay, this is way better, or, like things like that. But it's so good to see innovation start to pour in now a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely picking up for sure in terms of tweak stuff. I've been seeing tons of new awesome tweaks, and it makes me
and I
happy.
think it's just taken developers a little while to get everything updated. The jailbreak caught everyone by surprise. I think very few people were expecting it, if any. So I think that now that the storm has kind of died down a little bit, it can kind of go back to innovations and all that kind of stuff. So. But I mean, look, like even all these tweaks that you described, Andy, are very, very innovative.
I agree.
So, and I think that's good. I mean, that's what can give this community an extra little boost is innovative tweaks, stuff like that. And who knows? I mean, like you guys said, the jailbreak, we own 50% of Apple. So, but no, in all seriousness, Apple does get a lot of innovations from the jailbreak community, and maybe some of these innovations can make their way onto mainstream iOS for the benefit of casual users as well.
Yeah,
definitely. And also, kind of going back to what we said earlier about how the kind of media coverage of jailbreaking has kind of steadily gone down, maybe just a little bit. I think that tweak innovation and jailbreak development, I don't think that that's really gone down. I mean, maybe a small amount because this jailbreak caught everyone off guard, but I think that that's on point. I think that's just all types of innovation. I think it's just coverage. So
I would say that's fair.
Yeah. With that being said, I think that there's been awesome new tweaks coming out, and I think we're in good shape, in the long run, and I think it's going to be a good next few months for iOS 9 and the jailbreak cycle.
Right. Yeah.
All
we need is a new iOS 9.1 or iOS 9.2 jailbreak.
Yeah. Did we talk about the update to the Pengu on Tether that happened a little while ago?
Yeah, we did.
We talked about the Pengu for Mac, but there was also a Pengu on Tether update.
No, we talked about both though. We talked about both.
Absolutely, but Death, are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know, but either way, if you update all your untethers, all your untethers,
because I remember we said there's a Pengu on Tether update. And there's a Pengu for Mac update as well. Okay. So,
but everything's stable now for the most part. So just go ahead and update everything, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that just about wraps it up. Anything else, guys?
Yeah. I mean, I think that ultimately there's been a lot of innovation this week. I think that the community has potential for some very exciting things coming up right now. And hopefully those things all come to fruition.
I think there's things bubbling below the surface that we don't know about. Whatever that means in terms of tweaks, in terms of a 9.1 jailbreak or a 9.2 jailbreak or an Apple TV jailbreak or an Apple Watch whatever it might be. I feel like there's something that's bound to happen eventually that's going to change the direction of things, and it's going to make people innovate a lot more. And I think it already has started in a sense. We have already started to get to that point where, a lot of people are starting to innovate. And that's the good part because, in general, that's the good part about jailbreaking is the fact that, we're seeing a lot of innovating in the community and a lot of innovative ideas that we haven't seen before. So I think I'm really excited to see what happens with the rest of this cycle.
It's very refreshing, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, guys, it's been fun.
It has. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone who listens to this. We all appreciate you, and make sure to catch us next week. We will be back.
Yeah, and if you guys could share this video or tell your friends about Jailbreak Weekly, that'd be very, very strongly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Tell all your Twitter followers, your Instagram followers, YouTube.
Tell everyone you see.
Chat. Your grandma, your grandpa, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your
strangers,
daughter,
strangers you see.
Whatever.
Stranger danger
is the point. Tell everyone about our podcast that you possibly can. If they are interested, then let them know. But thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. So Justin, want to take us out?
Yeah, so once again, guys, I've been Justin Lack with my co-hosts, David Burns and Andy Hoff. And this is Jailbreak Weekly Crew signing out.
See you guys.
See you later.
I think we did good tonight.
We messed up a lot while recording this episode. Here are some bloopers. And as always, enjoy.
So, hello guys, welcome to Jailbreak Weekly episode.
Shut up!
Okay. Maybe I should do what that guy just told me.
Oh no, that's the new foghorn. Well, you idiots woke me up. Like,
We woke you up.
We double foghorned you and you didn't wake up.
yeah, I know.
I don't know how you sleep through a double foghorn. Like one foghorn is enough.
Because I can, dude, it's me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sometimes I sleep through my alarm. Like, it's okay. Recording in 3.
I should. No, it's because I have my phone on ringer and the notifications were coming in that you were retweeting stuff. So it was like do 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 do. So dun 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 dun.
Yeah, like literally when I woke up, it actually kind of sounded really cool because all my stuff, like some of it is the silk ringtone and some of it is the radiate ringtone, and like
You know that the text tone, like the stock one that goes ding.
Yeah.
God, why is that the stock one? It literally.
that's a terrible. That is.
I lose a little bit of hearing every time I hear that.
That is a. Yes, David. Yeah. Yes.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, David. Hear that, David?
Sounds like I'm making toast.
I get.
But I'm not making toast.
Okay.
It's okay.
For real, let's do this. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Coming to you live in a world that has been taken over by zombie cows. This
Is this actually happening? Like you actually?
this is actually happening. Okay, how about this? Coming to you live in a world where the Apple TV is manufactured by zombie cows in China. What?
What was that?
What?
What was that?
Okay.
I don't know.
Coming to you live in a world where the foghorn was never invented and Andy stopped playing annoying clips on YouTube. This is Jailbreak Weekly, and I hate you so much right now. Okay.
That wasn't even me. I'm serious.
I hate both of you.
That was David.
Both of you.
See, I knew it was a bad idea. Sharing the foghorn
Of
with him.
you.
I shared the foghorn with David.
I wanted
Andy,
to once.
okay, I have to have it now too, Andy, to create an equal playing field.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and send it to you, okay?
Send it in the group chat. That way
No,
we-
just send it to me
Cat is
privately.
out of
Andy.
the bag, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, guys, this is a very monumental episode of Jailbreak Weekly.
Yeah, the foghorn
I
is
have been
capital
given access-
O-U-T, okay? The
I have been,
foghorn
yeah,
is out, okay? The
I have been
foghorn
given
is out.
access to the foghorn.
Live.
The foghorn is live.
Avengers.com. Remember when
It's
you
been
did that? I was like,
disclosed.
oh my god.
Okay, let's go.
3, 2, and...
Okay. Coming to you live.
That wasn't even me.
Off.
We're never gonna who it is now. Like, it's not.
Coming to you live in a world where Andy is on time for things and air horns don't exist. This is Jailbreak Weekly, episode number 16.
I am going to terminate the broadcast in 3.
Andy, don't do anything.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay.
He's gonna go,
Yeah.
fuck. 3, 2.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. David, just terminate it. Don't even do a countdown. Just terminate it.
Terminating broadcast.